Ahoy, Marco. I'm giving you an ahoy to start out. Just
Nothing like getting an ahoy hoy, man.
you deserve an ahoy ahoy just for continuing to work with me 10 days in. It's 10 days, which means we are 17% of the way through the season. How about that? How about
That's
that?
something. But let me remind you that we're not in a season. We're in a tournament.
Oh,
And
did I call it a season?
the fun part, you did. We don't need to rewind it, but let's just take my word for it. I'm not going to try to pull a fast one on you. But yeah, so being 17% through the tournament, I mean, 17 has got heft to it. It's real. I remember back in 2016, and I don't want to get political, but I was going on a surf jaunt with one of my pals, and I was like, this Trump thing, are you kidding me? This Trump thing. And I said, but you know what? All the best polls say he has about a 17% chance of winning. I said, that's something real. And what did we have?
Well,
He won president.
he won.
He
And
won. Yes, he won, in case you didn't know.
he did. And 17% of the way through the tournament is probably about the same odds that Trump would have won the presidency, that we would make it to the end. But I'm going to make a promise.
Which I think makes it possible that we will make it to the end because that 17 has some heft to it, I think.
Yeah, 17 is
I'm excited about 17, but that's enough on 17.
Right. And so I'm going to make a promise right now. And this is certainly a promise I'm going to break just because I have 50 years of calling this thing a season. So my promise is that I'm not going to refer to this tournament anymore as a season. And if I call it a season, just email in, notice the flub, and you will get a prize. You will get a prize.
Yeah, those prizes are backing up. I'm afraid that we're going to have to start giving them out because you're a little loose-lipped with the old S word. But
we're trying to give them out. We're trying
to. We got that added to the promise. I'm just curious because we've done 10 shows. Sometimes it's hard for people to keep up. But what other promises have we made now that we have the promises segment open? Do you care to list a few? Maybe you do. Maybe you don't.
I can list one.
That you'll never say season instead of
It's the one I can list because most of the promises are yours.
Yes, I'm a big mouth, but I promise I will never say so-and-so lighted it up. And there's a list of promises. I would have to go back and look at that. I promise I would never say it's going to be a sprint and not a grind. I promise that we would never say it's going to be a sprint and not a grind. And I promised that I would never comment on how beautiful your blue eyes look. It's welled up inside of me. I want to express that because I promise never to say that again.
You can break that promise any day.
Okay, well, we do have to give out some prizes. All right, so
we threw out a lot of picks today. Some real interesting plays. And so let's just update our viewers on the action tonight, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool results coming in. I'm trying to call up here what.
Well, while you're doing that, can I interrupt?
Sure.
He gives me a half-assed sure. He didn't want me to interrupt. Don't interrupt when I'm focused. No, I'm being lucky enough that I'm smart enough to get on the picks for sticks email list. I got to see your plays, and my God, you gave away a lot today, and those were some very, very interesting ones, and I like them.
They're certainly fun, and I think some of the analysis is starting to get pinpointed accurate. So the first play was the Halos and the Astros at over 9, and that game came in as a push. But what I said here was, after breaking it down a little bit, I said the over will be in play even if this game is appearing like the over is in jeopardy heading into the very late innings or back into the game. And that game was 2-1 heading into the bottom of the 8th. And so it was 2-2 heading into the 9th. We needed 5 more runs that late. And that's exactly how it came in. So we didn't get the winner, even though it went into a 10th inning, but we did get the push. And that's just worst case scenario.
Jesus, I'm sorry,
Do
Michael.
we have our first phone
I have
call?
no idea what's going on here, man.
Do we have our first phone call?
This is unbelievable. I turned my phone off and I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, I don't need you here to break down the plays. So we're not taking, well, we should take a phone call. Should be live on the air. But we had the Tampa Bay and Baltimore at, can you throw that out the window?
It's coming through my computer for some reason. I never use a computer phone call.
Somebody's calling your computer. Well, that seems to have dealt with it.
I don't know. My phone's off. This is ridiculous. Why do people have to think that I don't have a life?
We gave you a close up of you. There you go.
I can't even get the screen back up. This has been a mess.
Do you have the do you have this on? Well, our road chalk parlay was a mess. So, but that's just given out as a play that may or may not come in. That really wasn't one of our picks. We also had the Tampa Bay on the run line -1.5, and that game is in extra innings, and it looks like it's going to the bottom of the 11th. So that game is still in play. Oakland just got a couple runs to tie that up, and so it's 2-2 heading into the 8th. So these are exciting games, even if they're still borderline. Our Colorado play came in, and the San Francisco money line is looking okay. They're up 2-4, but now we're heading into the back inning. So we got a push. We got a game still in action, which looks like Baltimore, if they can have a competent bat, should be able to give us a loss on that. Oakland's in play. We hit Colorado, hit San Francisco. But most importantly is that our analysis is starting to get more and more crisp and accurate in these games. So if you haven't signed up for the Picks for Sticks email plays yet, I think it's time to do that. Our email list is growing, and the analysis is getting more and more crisp.
When do you want to start recording? I'm sorry to the fans. That was ridiculous, but you're a true pro, man. You hung in there. You're like if you ever had a job as an anchor or a reporter on the scene, like if you were in the middle of the riot, even if buildings were going in flames, you would stay calm, cool, and collected.
Well, we're just here to entertain, man. And if nothing else,
Who the hell calls a computer? I'm on a MacBook Air. Who's calling my computer? Jeez, I mean, I told Miranda no more. But anyways, listen, I need to take a breather because that was a lot for me. So what I want to do is I want to open up the polemics bag. I know you have a few rants that you want to get out there, and I just want to sit back and listen and just gather myself. So we're going to open up a segment called Picks for Sticks Polemics, and you mind going right into that?
I don't, because I feel very strongly about this. This morning in the LA Times, they were running a quote. You know, they run some quotes and they laugh at it a little bit, but this was a quote from Joe Garagiola, and the quote is really hilarious. Just, you know, he's talking about the team he was involved with and how bad they were. And his line, I think it was something like, if we can just stay healthy, we have a chance to finish the season. And so I laughed at that. I thought it was hilarious. And the point they're making is now that's become the truth of the matter, and it really isn't just a joke anymore. But I also think it reflects on a different problem and a different point that's happening right now. And when you look at the slate of games today, you can count 1, 2, 3, including a doubleheader, 4, 5 games that were postponed because of the COVID virus. And we've talked about how serious we take this virus. And, you know, you and I are certainly people who take this seriously, and we engage in all of the precautionary measures, and we don't take it lightly. But this Major League Baseball season is certainly a tournament. Somebody wins a prize. And
all right, get those prizes. Send in an email and you get a prize.
Right. And so they've set up certain protocols that they're supposed to adhere to. And we are expecting the tournament to play out according to those protocols. So my commentary here is not a value judgment or a ethical commentary on the legitimacy or the seriousness of the virus. But the arrangement was that the teams would have expanded rosters, and if somebody tested positive, then they would be removed and somebody else would take their place and the games would continue to be played. However, let's just for a moment appreciate what games were canceled and or postponed today and exactly why. And I want to make the point that postponing these games is simply not fair or reasonable to the healthy teams. So in Miami, we now know that they can trace the outbreak to the team, and yes, they have 18 players that, but they can trace it to one player now who was responsible for the spread of that virus. And that is a point I'll come back to in a second. St. Louis, right? The game in Milwaukee was postponed because 4 players, but 4 players are replaceable. Obviously, Miami, that's a unique and different circumstance. That's a major outbreak. So 4 players, but that game could have taken place because 4 players are easy enough to replace. And let's be honest, unless these are star players or phenoms, to use your word, the replacement players are pretty much equivalent value that they are, give or take just a little bit. And in Philadelphia, where the doubleheader against these Jays was postponed, the doubleheader today, no players on Philadelphia were COVID positive. So what's the issue in Philadelphia? Well, some staff were, but it was mainly where the Miami Marlins were in the visitors' locker room, and so it's the visitors' locker room that's infected. And my point with that is, you can't disinfect the locker room overnight. Man, they disinfect the entire New York City subway overnight, including all the subway cars. And besides, who needs a locker room right now anyway? They have the entire stadium. It's all outside. Just put up a curtain. Even they don't even need a curtain, man. Every player can have their own entire section. There are no fans. They just get dressed there. Doesn't matter. They don't need to shower. They can shower back in their hotel room. There are no fans. They can use the entire stadium as a locker room. The visiting team doesn't have to be downstairs in the locker room. So on the one hand, we can appreciate that they're being overly cautious and postponing these games. But on the other hand, they're not staying true to the protocols. And from a gambling perspective, it makes it very difficult on us to be evaluating these situations. So
well, that's powerful. I have a couple of comments, but that's our picks for sticks polemics, and that was.
Let me just make one more final point on that. And so I'm not just blaming the league, because yesterday Manfred made the argument that he was threatening to shut down the entire season if the players can't adhere to the protocols. And we laughed about, the players need like they can't have any control over it, but they sort of do. And so the problem here is on both sides of the situation. First, Manfred can actually have these games go on according to the protocols, but he's also right that the players, they need to stop high-fiving, they need to stop spitting. We're seeing all of this. So the players need to adhere to the protocols, the league needs to adhere to the protocols, and maybe there is a special circumstance with the Miami team, but the rest of these games should be going on. And the result of them not going on is that Manfred makes a comment today that he thinks the playoffs with the entire tournament, 60 games, will happen. He thinks it, so he's backed off his threat, which was just a threat anyway. And right? And so, however, he did offer up the point that maybe all teams won't be playing 60 games and playoff teams will be decided by win percentage, which, if Miami doesn't play another game, they're 2-1. They
I know.
let in,
That's funny.
that's a 666 playing winning percentage. So Miami is actually encouraged under that to go out and keep getting COVID. And then they're right into the playoffs where everybody else is worn out, tired from a 60-game tournament. They'll have healed from the virus, those of them that do, and they can go into the playoffs at 2-1. That's where Manfred has brought us logically and intellectually.
Yeah.
So that's my polemic.
Well, I think that was our best segment ever of this second day of having this this segment, Picks and Sticks polemics, and that was brilliant. And Fred, I got a couple comments because you went. There's a lot to break down, and I'm going to just try to be quick. Man, Fred is blurting things. He's saying, he's saying one thing. Hey, we're going to cancel. Now he's saying we think we're going to go on, and then Fred has got to stay focused, man. He's brighter than he's making himself look right now. But it's obvious that Manfred saw the number 17%. That was pretty much thinking like I do. That's a real number. We have a good chance, really to get this going. The really interesting point that you made that I did not know, and I doubt a lot of people know who are watching, with the big outbreak in Miami, the contact tracing narrowed it to one person.
Right.
So that I intimate from that is that they shouldn't have to knock these other games down in Philly and such. Do a deep cleaning. You could do that in one day, one night, 1 hour. And we know where all this came from. And so we could trace it out and know, hey, you guys are probably pretty safe. And because we did the contact tracing and we're doing really, really good with that. And if they found, the ground zero, one guy, then they're doing well with that. The third point I want to make is I think it's just brilliant that guys come into the stadium, and the stadium essentially has cabanas, outdoor showers, and just dress tents. And I'm not even joking about that. You go out and it's beautiful. You're in an open field. You got like if it were a movie shoot or something, you got craft services, the food's out there, the table's out there. It's not gonna get in the way of anything, and it's easily removable when you want to have a little batting practice, or you can modify batting practice. Guys can hit in cages if they want to hit in cages, or just not even have much of a batting practice. Just get loosened up, relax. You're out there. They could have a band play some music, and they could be like they're at a picnic getting ready for the game. Why even go into a filthy, dirty clubhouse when you could set it up just like that with cabanas, little dress tents, craft table? I wish there was a joke in this, but I think that was a brilliant idea. So those are my comments on your ideas.
You can even roll outside the stadium, so they just walk through the tunnel or in the park itself, in the stands.
I think it's a brilliant idea because it'll be fun for the guys. It's relaxing. It's easy to social distance when you got just two teams and some umps and some staff and a manager and coaches. It's easy to spread out on in a grand outfield like that.
Entire park.
I mean, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful idea. I could see, that would be like a dream. A nice little ballpark like Camden Yards. You're just hanging out. It's beautiful. They got picnic tables here, there, and you're the only ones in there. Do whatever you want. Right. And then when it's time to strap it on, you got a dress tent, get it on. Everybody's got their own cabana. How hard could that be, man?
I just love the whole phrase dress tent. It's perfect.
All right. Well, I wish I had some jokes. But that's our polemics. We had an interruption because somebody actually called my computer, which I don't think has ever happened that I was aware of. But maybe I had some gin and I didn't know at one point. But let's talk a little bit. I just want to throw something in there. I thought it was kind of interesting and very confusing that because I'm always talking about my birds. What happened is, are they still in?
They got the win. Your birds got the win, so they win 5-4. They're a hot team. We'll talk about them in a minute, but they also.
Well, let's talk about them now because I want to talk about it. There was a thing that caught me by surprise. Orioles traded probably their best reliever, a guy named Richard Blyer, a lefty that's been great for them over the years. He's found stability with the Orioles over the years. Essentially, I found him as a journeyman, and he's been there 3 years, I think, and he's really maybe even more, 4 years maybe, and he's been really their best reliever. And today we find, and he hasn't given up an earned run yet this year, and we find out that he got traded to the Marlins. What did this guy do to deserve that? He got traded to the Marlins for a pick to be determined, man, and for a player to be named. And I can't think of what did this guy hit on the manager's wife? Did he do something that was just quietly just unacceptable? But I mean, it's like in the late 18th century when a English puny judge banishes a petty criminal to Australia, for like a minister to be named later. Tell me what this guy did to deserve such disrespect and actual punishment. He wasn't traded; he was banished.
And so, what if the Marlins season doesn't happen? Does he get the service time? Does he get the?
Does he get paid? I mean, yeah, those are all good questions. That's why I present it to you, because you'll think right through it and come up with all the pointed issues.
And how about talking about pay? Meanwhile, Oakland only 2 runs tonight heading into the 9th. Not being able to hit the Seattle pitcher is problematic.
What's the score of that Seattle game?
2-2 in the 9th. And
what did Kyle Lewis do?
I don't know what he's done personally yet, but I haven't looked at the box. Looks like Lewis is 1 for 2, so he dropped down to 457 with only down to 457. So Oakland is struggling at the plate, but I think this is one of those trades that's kind of league mandated. I think that's what it is. The Marlins have a game on Monday, right? They got to have a makeup game on Monday. I know they're not scheduled till Tuesday, but I laugh. It was like the team came down with COVID, and the league said, "We'll see you Monday. Take 6 days." But they need guys. So maybe league mandated Baltimore send them again.
They got 30 guys itching to get a chance. And
it's not a bunch of 30-year-olds. But I'm wondering if the player to be named later is like if there's a clause is not currently COVID.
I think that's why they have to be named later, because he's presently COVID.
Right.
So secretive about that. Maybe it's that stud, not so stud pitcher that came down with it that I like and you don't like. Nah, he's in their rotation, and I can't remember his name. But we shouldn't joke about it. We should just joke about everything.
Which we are, but I had a.
What did you changing the lights there, or are you getting a call on your computer?
Are the lights changing? I'm trying.
Yeah, the lights were changing.
That's cool.
What are you doing? Trying to get me to break my promise and mention those eyes? Come on.
Okay, I found what I'm looking for. So, this morning's game was postponed between the Cincinnati Reds and the Detroit Tigers. Not a COVID related, but the game was postponed due to rain. It's going to be made up as part of a doubleheader on Sunday, with it being the first of the 7-inning twin bills that we're going to see. But I was laughing hysterically at this because Trevor Bauer was angry. He was incensed. Did you hear what he said?
He was.
Yeah.
And this is Cincy. Tomorrow, you're saying Cincy and who has the doubleheader? Say it again.
Cincinnati and Detroit.
At Detroit, and I hear that Fergie Jenkins is going to throw out the first pitch, and he's going to say, "Let's play 1.5."
Well, Bauer.
Is Fergie Jenkins? He's still alive, isn't he? He was one. I mean,
yeah, but he's a Ranger, not a Tiger, which makes.
Yeah, but he's the one who said, "Let's play 2," famously. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
I just want to make sure he's still alive. I don't want to get any letters.
I don't know if he's alive or not.
Something's going on with your sound. I mean, we're having a really technical problem.
Well, I want to read what Bauer said. So Bauer was scheduled to start for Saturday's game and was just incensed that the game was put on hold just minutes before the game was to start. The grounds crew came out and put out the tarp. And Bauer says, postpone the game before starters start throwing or play through it. He yelled, you can't postpone a game 8 minutes before it's supposed to start. Just because it's shortened season doesn't mean you can change all the rules all of a sudden. Figure it the fuck out. First, you move the damn game up 5 hours the day before, then for the game, and then delay it 8 minutes before game time. Never in my 10-year career have I seen something so amateur. Not in the minor leagues, not in the big leagues. Never saw anything like this in college. So that's Bauer. He's upset.
Wow. That is powerful, but it's technically we're only day 2 into our segment, picks for sticks polemics, and we actually got a polemics from an actual MLB player, not just from you. So this, I guess anybody could do a polemic. That was Bauer opening up the polemics bag again and actually giving us some polemics. Wow, that was heated. This is a heated show.
Yeah, I have no sympathy for Bauer's play. I'm concerned about my play. You do a whole day of handicapping. You circle games in and around all sorts of stuff. You're relying on it to go, but then your money gets tied up because they've postponed the game 8 minutes before it starts. So I agree with Bauer. Either postpone it earlier or figure it the fuck out.
Hey, I'm just happy that he opened up the polemics bag. I'm not that we're getting polemics from actual MLB players. That's exciting to me.
So it is. I just want to quickly do a little update on the top 5 money-winning teams so far. So if you
good
across Major League Baseball teams, who have been the 5 most profitable teams to bet on so far? If you've just been betting on straight to win,
give it to us.
Any guesses, Mark, at who are in the top 5?
If you're betting I think that the Tribe, people that are putting money on the Tribe are getting Detroit.
They've just gotten crushed the past couple of days. They only got 2 hits again today.
Detroit.
Absolutely, Detroit. Absolutely.
I would also say, everybody loves the Yankees, and they're not disappointing.
No. The Yankees
really
are expensive. So every loss they have is very
definitely something wrong with your sound. So I don't know if you should move a little closer or
not. How's my sound?
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
I don't. Maybe I'm getting a phone call.
You must have forgot that I said that 2 seconds ago.
Yeah. So the Yankees are just very expensive. So any loss they get, they have.
Right. Okay.
So San Francisco, Detroit.
Oh, I forgot about them. Is Brandon Belt still on the team?
Who?
I'm just kidding. Go ahead, man.
Detroit, Seattle, Colorado.
I wanted to say Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle, Colorado, and of course the Miami Marlins. Boom.
That's hilarious.
Marlins are
3 games and they're bringing in the dough, man. Well, this show's kind of run on long, and I know we're gonna end it with a new segment. And I have an ahoy that I want to save for tomorrow. Is that okay?
You want to save it for tomorrow?
Yeah, we're gone long.
We're not long. But I know we agreed that we weren't going to do any kind of meat segment tonight.
Right.
That's okay. But we can't just be wrapping it up yet, because we had a viewer who reached out to us today and was incredibly impressed with your goulash recipe last night.
The hybrid goulash stew, the goulashes.
The goulashes, exactly. And so if you didn't see episode number 9, just make sure you watch it. You can catch up on Mark's goulash, which is a combination of a stew, it's
a combination of an Irish stew and regular goulash, and I call it goulashes because I add the S in for stew.
And so if you're just intrigued by that, and they said they were going to make it, they're going to make it this evening, and then they were going to indulge in eating that while they were watching our show tonight. So
Brilliant.
yeah, so to Dave Moore, thank you for tuning in. We hope the galoshes turns out perfect. And of course, we won't cut this episode short because we don't want to end while you're just settling in.
Okay. I mean, Dave Moore from Greensboro, North Carolina, he's taking up the galoshes. Well, then I guess, should we go into the ahoy hoys? I know you have an ahoy hoy.
I do, and my ahoy hoy has to be done tonight because tomorrow will be too late. But before we do that, we have a COVID corner update.
Oh, good. DD from the CC. That's exciting. I thought he was in the Bahamas, but great. This is great.
Yes.
He's right here in the CC, in the COVID corner. He is not in the Bahamas.
So he's a Dodger fan. He must have been watching the Dodger game tonight from Arizona is where they are. And he sent in the following update, which is hard to argue with. He says the COVID corner loves the pool and spa treatment, right? He's a doctor,
right.
Loves the pool and spa treatment. And he says under usual conditions, we would be sponsors of the pool and spa at the Arizona ballpark. But it is a facilitator of the tremendous spread of COVID, the pool and spa there. He says they need to fill that with concrete.
Okay, that'll end it in a nutshell. I mean, yeah, the warm water, you know, they love that nice comfortableness. You know, they're sitting there each other, giving them. It's like an orgy with the COVID in a place like that. You know, I mean, it's just they're all. But yeah, in all seriousness, those are the places where that stuff really thrives. Thank you. And our listeners, thank you, Dr. Doug, because that's a serious thing. Because kids, even going to public pools, you know, you got to be aware of that. And I think people are not. I'm seeing, and you know, Arizona, they're a fun team, and it's a great state, but they're having some troubles over there. So I think you know, don't be so itchy to open up tattoo parlors and spas. Let's just give that warning. Straight from our COVID corner. Thank you, Dr. Doug, to Arizona.
All right. Ahoy hoy. You want to go first with yours?
Well, I have an ahoy hoy from Stephen Hinch. He is my cousin, but also my adopted big brother, just for the record, even though we're the same age. And he lives out in Seattle. And since Dave Moore is going to be watching tonight, we will say the nickname of that great city, the Emerald City. And I just want to send out an ahoy hoy to him because of these Grand Mariners, but mostly because of this Kyle Lewis. He is just doing incredibly well. He's tearing it up. How many homers does he have? Did I misread that? Does he really have 6 homers? Is that possible? Does he really have 13 RBIs? He is doing so well that we have to ask ourselves, and Stevie boy, my cousin, my big brother, if you're watching, we got to think, does he have a chance to win ROT, Rookie of the Tournament, and MVTP at the same time? Most valuable tournament player. And I'm going to send out the trivia to my big friend there, Michael Allen Driggs. I'm going to send a trivia question in. Who are the only 2 people to win both Rookie of the Year? I know the answer, but who are the only 2 players ever to win Rookie of the Year and MVP?
Well, I know one. I know one for sure because I was
your boy from the Angels.
Oh, yeah. Well, he did play for the Angels for a while. So.
But I mean, I know Boston originally, but go ahead.
Well, so I'll give one, and that was my boy Freddie Lynn. So,
yes.
So Freddie,
and the other,
before you give the answer,
okay,
let's leave that one for the viewers. If they want to send in the answer, the first one who sends in the correct answer to Picks 4 Sticks, that's number 4, at gmail.com, will win a prize.
And I don't have to give you a hint, but I made an emphasis when I said Seattle, the Emerald City. I probably just gave it away, but we want people to get on that email list.
Yeah.
All right, Stevie boy.
Nice to meet you, Steve. Steve or Stevie?
I call him Stevie. You can call him Steven. You can call him whatever you like, but just be polite because he was a gold glove boxer.
Well, I'm polite to even people who I'm bigger than. So that won't be a problem.
He knows all about you, man. I talk about you all the time. So you have an ahoy hoy. Let's not close it up. Let's do yours.
So I'd like to give an ahoy hoy to my dear friend CJ Sullivan. He's a professional comedian. He's a guy I started doing comedy with in Chicago. He's like a brother to me. Love him. And I don't think he's watched 1 second of our show. He does his own sports comedy show, which it's got 20 years in the books. Give a listen to it if you tune in. It's called Visitor's Locker Room. He has guests on there who are big headlining comics. He's doing a professional thing, and so just that he reach out and give us a little something is special. And so he sent me today a tip on a game, and so I want to give that out as an ahoy hoy. He's a hockey guy, and he says take Vancouver. The Vancouver Canucks plus 2,200 to win the Western Conference. He says the only, yeah, that's his tip, and I got on that for plus 3,300.
Oh, so you're even doing better.
Yeah, 3,300. But he says the only way Vancouver doesn't hoist the cup is if they get swept in the first round, which is a high possibility. So what do you expect for a plus 3,300? But I like it. If you do hockey, take Vancouver for plus 22 to plus 3,300, somewhere in that range. I told him that's what I got for it, and I said I'm going to need that payday for a fresh bankroll by the time that comes around. And he laughed and said, "Consider it a birthday bond." So,
what a cool guy! But I'm going to take a moment and say, God, I admire you. Here you're talking up a guy that is a real pro. And you got the bet at 1,000, 1,100 more than he got it at.
Yeah, because
so I admire you, is what I'm saying. That's it. Let's end it there. God, I admire you.
That's cool. But no, we can't end it there because
I'm saying let's end it there for just a second. Let's breathe that in. God, I admire you. Okay. Right so on. Those are our ahoy hoys. Those were a couple of good ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So why don't we take a look at tomorrow's slate, Marco?
Okay, well, look, before you do that, I want to introduce a new segment, and we're going to try to do that every day, and and at the end of the show, we're going to do Michael Driggs's read, and that's basically him taking a look at the slate of games tomorrow. So, go ahead.
I think you explained it well.
This is his first read. We would call it as the Michael Driggs's first read, and it's basically him laying out the slate. So yeah. Please.
So it's always helpful to look ahead at a series and see what the games are that are to be played. But it's interesting as a handicapper. People will ask you, who do you think is going to be in the World Series? And it's such a meaningless question to a handicapper. And I'm not talking about future plays, and people do that kind of thing, but it doesn't matter to me. Who's going to be in the World Series are the teams that make it through the playoffs. As a handicapper, you're concerned about that day's action or the next day's action, because that's where the action is. You're not analyzing all the way down the road, unless it's just like an individual future play. But you do that before the season starts, and you're not thinking about futures during the season. And so you do look at series and what's happening the next day, or maybe even what a team has coming up as like a road trip or something. But it's really a day-to-day grind. It's a day-to-day grind. And that's why you have to manage your money. And if you go 1-2 or you go 0-2, that you're still in a stable condition to be able to keep progressing. And so what I like to do is, after the action is in for the day, I like to take a glance at tomorrow's slate and just have my first impressions come to me. And,
Okay.
and then,
Michael's first read segment.
so we're gonna kind of include some of that thinking as we go through to wrap up the shows, because now there's enough games. We're starting to get good reads. I mean, San Francisco just went up 5-2. So that's we're hoping to cash another winner on that one. We'll see how that plays out, but you don't count that before that's in. They got to get through those bottom innings. But we got the first 7-inning twin bill tomorrow, Cincinnati at Detroit. And interesting enough is that game goes at 9 o'clock Pacific time. So immediately after watching the show, go to sleep tonight, viewers. You got a full day of action. And Cincinnati has not named a pitcher for the second game. So they're going to try to get some long innings out of the pitcher who's starting the first game, Descalafini. They might be trying to push him a little too far. So we'll break that down. We'll look at Garcia, who is pitching for Detroit. But the first read is Cincinnati maybe giving up some runs early in that game, because they're not going to have a quick hook on their pitcher. Tampa Bay is in Baltimore. Is Baltimore really going to sweep the Rays? Really? So that's the initial perspective on that game. And on the other hand, Baltimore's been playing lights out. They're hitting.
Broke another promise.
Right?
Go ahead. We don't say lights out on this show.
I can say it.
No. Go ahead.
Well,
keep going. I don't want to break your flow, but that's funny to me.
So the Mets are in Atlanta. The Mets are deteriorating as a ball club. The wheels came off last night, and they were never in the game today, and they were part of our road chalk parlay, which never had a chance. The White Sox are in Kansas City, and the White Sox bats came to life today. They had like 18, 19 hits, and they weren't even put together well. So they wound up scoring 11 runs. So are their bats going to stay hot? Cleveland is a disaster, and I think they got 2 or 3 hits today. They, again, have the better pitching matchup tomorrow, but it doesn't matter if they can't get anybody on base. Pittsburgh and Chicago. Lester is off to an amazing start, and so is he going to come back to earth? But, lefty and Wrigley, what's the wind doing there? And San Diego, Colorado. Colorado has been a great team to have money on, and so that's the rubber game. It's tied at 1. And then we get Texas, San Francisco. Don't want to look at that till after the game tonight. Oakland, Seattle, that's the bottom of the 9th right now. And it looks like the Mariners have bases loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. So they can push one across. They'll have a win there. And then the question is Seattle going to sweep that series against Oakland? Seattle's been playing, fill in the blank. Dodgers in Arizona. Kershaw gets his first start tomorrow.
Hey, right. You want to reveal what you got against Kershaw? No, keep going.
And the Angels look to take the series from Houston. They got the runs to get us a push tonight, so their bats are coming to life. But more importantly, Shohei Ohtani will get the start. And if he can record an out, he will lower his ERA by hundreds of thousands of points.
It's true, man. The infinity man. Gosh. Yeah, I have no idea what to expect from him, but keep going.
Yeah, primetime game is Boston and New York. New York is just rolling through everything. Boston, their starting pitching is just a disaster. They announced today that their top pitcher is really the most seriously affected individual player so far by COVID. So he's had some heart issues as a result, and he's going to be sidelined for the year. It's precautionary. He'll be fine. But they're already struggling with pitching, so they don't even know who they're going to throw tomorrow. I love it. It's incredibly exciting. We got all the postponed games that will be made up, and that's where we stand heading into the overnight.
All right. Well, that was Michael Driggs' first read, and all I want to add is can this tournament be any more exciting? The way you just laid it out, and all the things that are going on, and I mean, Kyle Lewis maybe getting the rookie of the tournament, the most valuable tournament player. All these machinations and angles. I mean, for a gambler, these angles are a life force. I mean, these are the things that you wake up in the morning and say, give me an extra shot of espresso in my triple.
Exactly, but it can be a little bit more interesting, just a fraction, if you appreciate that Manfred's threat is that he's pulling the plug. Manfred, that he's pulling the plug tomorrow night. So this could be it.
He's just lashing out. I don't know. He's an intellectual, from what I've read about him. He just seems to be lashing out. I don't know why he's not being a bit more measured.
But Marco, whether there are games or not, baseball is going to be available to be analyzed. I think we should keep doing it. Our fan base is really
fun. The tournament is fun. I can't think of a time that I've been more excited about MLB than this tournament.
Amen. So I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. So 17% through the season. I'll see you tomorrow. I can't wait. And good night. And it was great to spend time with you.
Right on, Marco.